Welcome back, guys.
Hey guys.
We're back here on another week. Thanks for joining us. As I am Straight Talk with Ivette Elizabeth, and I have
Sienna.
welcome back, Sienna.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. How you been?
I've been stressed.
Why?
To keep it real, I have been really stressed about work, honestly, or lack thereof, I should say. I had just recently lost a really good opportunity, a really good job opportunity, and it's had me really down in the dumps. Like, I'm still currently going through it. I just feel like I have no value if I don't have a job. That is what society is telling me. That's what I feel like I've been taught to learn, was that all your life is good for is to sell hours of it to make someone else rich. And I'm so tapped out. I'm so sick of that mentality. And I just wish I could like unplug from the matrix, really, but like I can't take a shit for free, so I need to go get a job.
Right? Because you need toilet paper.
Right.
And now we pay,
Yeah.
right? We pay for water, we pay for soap, right?
Yeah.
So I get it completely. And unfortunately, yeah, we were not born to just be able to go out and about and have money in our bank accounts, right?
I mean, not us, us.
Right? Yeah, because anyone who's able to do that, right, has busted their asses to get there, right? Has gone through
Or
hoops.
been born into it.
Or born into it, right? So I always have my ideal dream is that I want to make money while I'm sleeping, while I'm brushing my teeth, and I want to hear cha-ching, or whatever, or while I'm taking a shower, cha-ching. Yeah. That's my dream, and I promise it's coming true. I'm gonna make that happen. But how? I need a job, right? I can't make it happen, so I can't plant seeds and money will grow, right? And money's made out of paper.
I actually heard a fun fact that it's not all paper. Like, that's why it like lasts longer than it can get wet. You can put it in the washer and the dryer. It'll still be $1.
Yeah, that's why,
Never thought of that. But it's
And even that's a job, right? Because only certain people are hired to make money.
Yeah. But it's like paper and cotton, and that's why it's so strong. But you would think you can grow trees to make paper, and I know somebody who's been picking cotton for like 400 years, so I feel like we need those dollars back. I'm just saying, we put all those dollars together. Now we need some compensation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, well, guys, today's topic is, pretty much what we do for a living. Why we here, right? We gotta work.
Living. Like,
we need a job.
Yeah, what are we doing for a living? But living cannot be an answer. Like, you're a human being, but you also just can't be. You have to, like, do all these things. You have so many responsibilities just for, like, being on Earth. And I feel like it gets so overwhelming sometimes, especially as an adult, and you have to like put everything on the side once you clock into work. Like, they do not care about anything about your life. Just do the work. Just shut up and dribble, I feel like is a good quote that applies to a lot of us in the working class.
Well, even like you said that, I thought of basketball. That's a job too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a phrase that they use because a lot of athletes, because they have such a platform, they try to use it for things that they believe in, so things that they support. And a lot of the people that support these platforms are not trying to hear them speak on their views, speak on their values. They just want them to shut up and dribble. And I feel like that's the quote for every company. Just, we don't care about your problems. Leave them at the door. When you clock in, you are out.
You're mine.
All the mental capacity that you have is mine for 8 hours of the day. And I can't do that. It is so draining to even be in front of people and work with people. I'm very introverted. And it gets really, really exhausting to just be social all the time and be the person that everybody likes and make sure that I laugh at everybody's jokes because I can't seem like a rude bitch in the office, and it's just so draining. It really is draining.
It's funny you say that. I follow a lot of people on Instagram, and a few years ago on a show called Love and Hip Hop, right? Which I don't watch the series at all, but this specific episode, I don't know if it was Miami or Atlanta, but the main person there, I only had caught this last episode, and she, obviously the point of the show is for you to be successful in achieving your music career, right? So I do follow, I like Amara La Negra.
Mm-hmm.
She's Dominican, born and raised in Miami.
Gorgeous, beautiful.
I love her.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned about her through the show, through my friends, and I just happened to watch the episode, right? Mm-hmm. And she sang her song. So I've been following her on Instagram, and she's very smart, very talented, and her passion was her music. And she, throughout the pandemic, she started to reinvest her money into properties in Dominican Republic. And she's posted and educated, provided information about how anyone can do this, Dominican Republic, on how to invest, and she's doing her whole Airbnb, which congratulations to her. But I started recently, they just were doing a new season of Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I'm trying to watch it only because of her, really, because it's live. Not live, but it's current to what she's going about right now, right? So in the episode I watched yesterday, she's having a situation with her mom, that her mom doesn't want to live in DR. She wants to move back to Miami. Amara met someone in DR, and her business are there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but, right? So she's having a battle to choose between her mom and staying there, but also her music career, which is here in Miami.
Right.
And what she said was that her mom is encouraging her, that's her passion, that's her dream, that's her success, right? That's what got her to where she is now, her music career, right? But what she said was that it wasn't fun for her anymore. Even though she loves music, her passion, it became work.
Yeah.
Because now you work so hard to get a deal. When you sign that deal, the record label owns you now.
Yeah.
Now you have to make a certain amount of albums, and you have to do them by a certain amount of time, and you have to have a certain amount of tracks.
Yeah,
so now
sold a certain amount of records.
Right. So many tours, so many performances, so many signings.
And you're just a group of numbers. You are just there to provide. You're no longer an artist, a free person. That's right. Art is so it is so freeing, and there's so many different aspects that you can go into in just the broad subject of art. And I feel like the media, which is also art, it's a form of medium of art, and I feel like it's so altered. They hold the perspective, they hold the narrative, and I feel like it's just a very negative scope that the media goes through.
I agree. And that's one thing. I also learned that actually in high school. I would never forget my freshman year. I think it was my freshman or my sophomore year. So I'm not talented in the artistic world. I sing to the best of my perfection. Check me out, karaoke night. But I was so excited to join bands, right?
Oh, me too.
I
love the band.
Because in elementary school, I was always wondering why I was never picked to participate, learn an instrument. And I would see the chorus and the band when it was the Christmas plays and all that stuff, right? So I was so excited that I get to choose an elective, right? So I was like, oh my God, I get to be in a band. Cool. And then all I'm thinking about is the day I'm gonna be in front of everybody performing whatever instrument I learned, right? So I learned the clarinet was my instrument, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was my beginner's class, right? So everyone in my class was beginners. Of course, the teacher, the instructor, the person who has passion of music, right? Who can hear who missed the beat, right? Or skip the note. After I think like 3 months, no, after the second year, when we did the first year, so we were allowed to make mistakes, right? Because we were first learning how to blow. That took me forever. You have to keep the thing wet, and then you have to hit a certain note. I went through a struggle, but I finally got it, right? And then I finally learned the one little song I could do, right? But then the second year, so we're supposed to be intermediate, right? At that time is when I said, okay, I did my part. I tried. One time we had to perform a whole song that we had to study and master.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never to her perfection. And I will never forget, she yelled so loud.
Wow.
She turned so red. Like, she was furious. And she was calling out on everyone who missed the note or did it too late, or there was a delay, or you went too fast. After that, I said, it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, this was supposed to be cool. Like, I'm learning how to play the instrument, you know?
Yeah. And it becomes really discouraging when, like...
Yeah. Then I don't want to do it anymore. And if I did have any talent, that's out the window.
Yeah. And if you were to just pick up, touch an instrument and just know how to perfect it and master it, like, I feel like that would take away from the experience. All the times you messed up and failed add to that pride and that moment of like, oh my gosh, I finally got it. Like, I finally got it.
So I'm going to tell you my biggest achievement.
Okay.
Based on that exact example. So when I was younger, I had this fascination about, I thought it was cool to be a secretary. I didn't know what a secretary meant.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was cool to sit at a desk and have a phone, and I was so cool. And I was pretending, like, that was my world. At home, I'll never forget, I was a little girl, I had a little table, a chair.
Play working. And
yes.
Like,
and I couldn't, and I said to myself, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to be customer service. And that's all I knew too, because, when I would call for my mom to get help, like with bills or whatever, who you got on the phone? Customer service. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I thought customer service was the person sitting at a desk with a computer and a phone. Right? So I was given a typewriter. An old school typewriter.
What? I'm sorry?
Yes, I'm that old. A typewriter where you actually punch. Okay, and that's how people learned how to type. Those that are way older than me, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to learn how to type. I was so determined. Mind you, I didn't know, first of all, the letters are not, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're all scattered, right? Which, that's another thing, how they figure that out, right? So I just knew I wanted to learn how to type. So when I got to middle school is when I first had, like, my first computer class, right? And I taught myself how to type. And all my friends used to be like, I used to do their assignments real quick, because it was like, you have to mark your fingers, you have to hold your hand, blah, 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 right? But to me, that was an achievement that in junior high, I knew how to type, learning from a typewriter to a computer to then, and not knowing what I was going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen. I just learned something that I liked.
Now we're in 2021 and you know how to type.
Yeah, for real, right? I have to take all these typing tests. How many words can you type? Yeah, I can do 50. Try me. But that was my pride. Like, I knew how to do it. And then when I was a teenager and I got to high school and I was able to work, my first job was a big deal to me, because my first job was a corporate job. I worked for a very large company that still exists. But not everyone gets the same opportunity, and I was able to implement my skills.
Also, some people don't have that as a goal, to work for a prestigious company or anything. Like, I'm 23 years old, I turned 24, and I feel like part of me was like wasting time, like wasting my 20s energy, because I was just sitting in an office answering phones, and I feel like I'm supposed to work until I'm retirement age, if I live that long, and then I can start living life. And if I have the energy to live life still at retiring at 65 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I just wish I could live during my 20s.
Well, you still have time. It ain't over yet. Now, my 20s, I moved to Florida when I was just about to turn 22. So when I was a kid, my second grade year, I loved my second grade teacher. And growing up, I said I wanted to be a second grade teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I was my passion. I loved my second grade teacher.
Wow.
And I was fortunate to have her twice. The year she decided to switch grades turned out to be my year that I was on that grade. Mm-hmm. She became my second grade teacher and my fifth grade teacher. And she ended up being my graduating teacher because that's when we changed from junior high to middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So the fifth graders got to graduate with the sixth graders. And that was my passion. When I got to high school, that just went out the window. And mind you, everything I did to prepare myself that I wanted to be a teacher. I did after school programs, I did summer camp, I was summer youth, I won awards, all this other stuff. Am I a teacher now?
No, and you teach me a lot.
You're so sweet, thank you. I am, I'm an internal teacher. And you know what's so weird is that I have this thing that I'm a magnet to kids. No matter where I am, if there's a kid involved in the area, and everyone will let it be. Yep. Go to Ivette, she'll take care of it. Go to Ivette here. I'm like,
it's my favorite thing to say.
I'm an adult too, so I want to drink with you, but I don't mind. I've gotten used to it, apparently, you know. Mm-hmm. But what I'm going with that is that when I got to high school, teaching wasn't even an option, and now I learned this thing called business administration.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to write a letter and indent 4 spaces and make sure you put the date
format
and the signature line. You have to count 4 spaces and all this other stuff. And it was like, okay, pretty cool. All right, I'm a professional now. I can write a letter, I can mail it, I can type it out for you, sign it. Now what? Now here we are, young adults. I'm still young. And if you didn't have an idea of what you wanted to be, where do you want to be?
I feel like that question is like, when do I have time to figure that out? Please, like, when? Between paying bills, between raising my son, between trying to find out who I am. How am I supposed to figure out what I want to do when I don't even know who I am? Like, there's so much that I haven't experienced, and I won't ever get to those experiences if I don't sell my soul for a little bit to be able to afford it. And selling my soul is just a metaphor I use to, like, say clocking into the matrix, because you're working for the machine, like I said, working to make someone else money. And I do have passions, but I feel like my passions don't have monetary value, and that is why I don't feel valued, because I'm a very artistic person. I'm really creative. I want to just create, but I feel like that avenue is very hard to navigate and regulate your own money. Not saying it's impossible, of course. Like, if it was impossible, it wouldn't be done. But
so I'm gonna tell you this: when I moved to Florida, I didn't know what I was coming to. I came with a job, and that job was sales. When 9/11 happens, I lost everything, and the only thing I knew was administrative, right? And I never forget, I never worked in a retail, McDonald's restaurant, nothing, right? None of that. But I had a passion at that time into computers. And I was so focused on computers. I wanted to know, like, if the monitor went out, that I could take it apart and I could see what was wrong with it. Mm-hmm. That's how into it I was in, right? Well, 9/11 happened. I walked by in a Radio Shack. There was a sign saying they were hiring. I was like, oh, cool, electronics.
Of what?
Radio Shack. So I said, you know what? This might be the closest thing to maybe owning my own business, right? I got interviewed, I got hired, never done sales in my life. Turned out it was something that was within me that I didn't know I had, because it was easy for me because I knew the products we were selling. So it was easier to educate the customers and pitch them the sale and all this stuff. And then on top of that, I was making money. Great. I did that for 5 years. Never saw that coming. I moved with that job here. I did most of it here in Florida until I got finally burnt out. I got to manage my own store, $500,000, done. I got burnt out because I never saw myself doing that for so long.
Yeah.
That is when then I was trying to find, okay, what do I want to do? What's out here? Right? Kind of find out, Florida's like the state of call centers. And I did my first call center job. The hardest part, calling out. Like I had to call businesses and speak to CFOs and presidents. I did that for 2 years. I was surprised to do that long. I was pretty good at it. I was good. I was always comfortable to talk to people. So that was never the issue. So now that was like in my 20s. I went through my ups and downs, right? Because you still have to pay bills, this and the other, try to live life, right? Car payment, all this other stuff, right?
You gotta eat. You gotta afford the toilet paper.
It wasn't until 5 years ago, almost 6, where, well, I'll take that back a little bit. I knew I liked real estate, but I didn't know enough to love it.
Right.
I was in love with looking at all these open houses. I must have seen like 1 million houses in the last 20 years. And I said, oh, one day I want to own one, I want to live in one, blah, blah, blah. Back in 2010, 11, then I met a friend who we're still friends to this day, who was like, oh, I'm going to get my real estate license. And to this day, she's been a successful real estate agent. Up until 5 years ago, that was always my passion. I just didn't know it was my passion. And now I'm in the industry, on the back end of the industry, and I love it. I love knowing what it takes to build a home and the dirt and the scene. So what I want to tell you is that you will find your niche. You're still discovering yourself. And there's no age restriction. You know, I know there's people that start up a business when they're 50 or when they're 60, who retire to do their own thing, you know? So you never know, and I don't want you to ever think that it's not possible. But sorry, just to make sure we're good. But I did wanna, because of how you're feeling, what led to that? Like, I know it's hard, and that's the thing too. So we wake up, we have a routine, and if you have kids or married or whatever, your routine is extra long. Because you have to get up, feed the kids, dress the kids, take them to school, get them breakfast, feed them lunch, blah, blah, blah. Then you have to go to work from 9 to 5, then get off the clock, pick up to daycare, and do the whole thing again, the evening shift, right?
In reverse, basically.
Right. But then when you're at work, though, right, you're owned by the 8 hours of the day, and you're trying to at least hold on to that little bit of your dignity as yourself. You're here to do a job, and you want to perform at it. To feel that recognition or to have that passion that you like. You got that job. You chose to apply for this job because there was something that you liked about it. And that...
money, and that's it.
And maybe a little bit of interest. But yes, that does happen. Because at the end of the day, sometimes if you need a job and all you can get is to work at Walmart or whatever, it's a job.
I have a mouth to feed.
Right.
So that's what's going to get me there, honestly. I've never had, like, there's never been a job that I've clocked in and been like, oh my God, I love this. Like, I'm having so much fun and I see myself going so far in this field. Never. Like, I'm just applying to the wrong jobs, maybe. I don't know, but I am always feeling like, damn, I have to clock in or I'm going to starve to death or I'm going to go to jail for, like, not paying some bill or something.
I know, right? We love those phone calls.
I have to.
The IRS is gonna hunt you down.
I have to clock in to save my life. Like it sounds so dramatic, but it literally is life or death. Clocking in, like your humanity, your
it's a domino effect, because if you don't pay a certain bill, what happens? Either you lose the service, or you don't pay your rent, you get kicked out, you don't pay your light, you get told off. So I completely get it.
Yeah.
I feel that you will find it. By the way, guys, I'm gonna give her some inspiration right here. Doesn't she look beautiful? Okay. You know, she did all of that herself, right? But my braids,
yes.
courtesy of Sienna, she loves doing hair, so I'm gonna give her kudos.
I do love doing hair. It hurts sometimes, and that's why I feel like gone like crazy with starting a business with that or anything, because it costs me a lot to do like a whole head physically, like.
Yeah, it took a little time for mine, but I love her. She loves me.
And also, this is not fresh, like this.
It's
and also, she doesn't stop touching it. She doesn't stop touching it. She doesn't stop cutting it. So this is like, it's still beautiful, still great. But this is not my original. This has been retouched.
Well, guys, you can hit her up on Instagram, ladies.
Yes,
you know,
definitely. I do men's braids too. I braid, twist.
See, she needs some inspiration. Okay, so hit her up.
Definitely.
I will tag her on this video. So
at very affordable prices. I'm not a professional, so we are gonna work together.
See, help her find her inspiration, guys.
I'm really lost in the sauce, trying to catch up right now.
How yeah. Well, guys, how many of you guys feel the same way? How do you feel about, working in America?
Yeah. And if you have felt the same way, I want to know, like, how do you get past this? Like, how do you get a job again? How do you make money without feeling like I'm selling myself? Like, I just want to get past this and be able to enjoy an experience where I can make money and not feel guilty about it, or not feel like I'm being owned or have a slave mentality. I just want to be able to have my money and spend it too.
I agree. Definitely, we want to definitely spend it on things that we want to enjoy, not
just the things to keep us alive.
I know, right? Food and water,
right?
And lights,
and the Wi-Fi, because I will.
Oh, and Netflix and Hulu and everything else, right?
Yes.
So, and all that, we need electricity, we need a roof over our head, and for all of that, we need a job, right? So, well, I'm curious for you guys. Any feedback will be great. If you guys in the Tampa Bay area and have any considerations that maybe she will be into, jobs or career moves.
Yeah.
I don't know if she wants to go back to school. It's something she's also contemplating on.
I'm open to anything.
As long as it has a paycheck on the end.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm a very creative person, so just keep that in mind.
And, for you guys out there, like, when did you find your passion? Like, what did it take? How many hoops did you go through? I know I went through several hoops.
And how do you know it's your passion? That's something I want to investigate, because...
Did you get butterflies in your stomach?
Yeah, like, how do you... Is it a burning passion? That's what I need to know.
I agree. I know, I like I said, I don't think it's my burning passion, but it is. I like the process of what I do right now. So, and I do plan on retiring that, and then yes, I'm gonna work for myself. You'll see.
Yes.
But other than that, guys, I hope you liked today's episode. It was all about how we gonna make her feel better. And anyone else who's in her shoes, please feel free to comment, send us a message. I will tag her Instagram. Ladies in the Tampa Bay area, if you wanted some hairstyle.
And non-binary people, everyone on the spectrum.
She does her eyelashes too.
I do. I did our eyebrows.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Get at me, you guys.